Do you feel like something or someone is pulling the strings of your life, keeping you from fully stepping into your power? Are you tired of living on autopilot, doubting your intuition, and constantly seeking approval from the outside world? If you've ever felt like your thoughts, emotions, or energy were being hijacked, this message is for you. Inspired by the deep wisdom of Carl Jung, this video is a wake-up call for your soul. We're going to uncover how to break free from invisible chains, whether they come from toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, or societal expectations. You'll learn how to reconnect with your true self, take back your inner authority, and start manifesting from a place of clarity, strength, and alignment. By the end of this video, you'll feel more grounded, powerful, and in control of your own destiny. If you're ready to stop being controlled and start living consciously, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment sharing what in your life needs to shift. Your transformation starts now. There is a quiet script written for each of us before we are even aware we've stepped onto the stage. A script of smiles, titles, polite responses, and silent compromises. From childhood, society whispers into our ears who to be, how to behave, what to want. We learn that fitting in is rewarded, while authenticity often comes at a cost. But have you ever paused to ask, who am I beneath the roles I've been given? We're taught that freedom is the ability to chase success, to climb ladders, to perform productivity. Yet too often, what we call freedom is just a more elegant form of conformity, approved, polished, and deeply conditioned. The job, the image, the well-constructed identity, how much of it was truly chosen? So many of our choices are shaped not by genuine desire, but by the fear of being excluded. We smile when we want to scream. We follow paths that quiet our souls but earn applause. Carl Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear to meet the world. It's useful, yes. Necessary, at times. But when the mask hardens, when we forget there is a face beneath it, we become strangers to ourselves. Freedom begins when we become aware of these invisible chains. Not to hate them, but to understand them. Because once we see them clearly, we can begin the slow, sacred work of loosening their grip. Inside each of us, a quiet narrator is always speaking, telling us who we are, what we're capable of, what we deserve. And yet, few of us ever question where this voice came from. Was it born of our own soul, or was it shaped by the echoes of childhood? The scoldings, the comparisons, the subtle wounds we couldn't name at the time? So many of us carry stories that were never truly ours. Stories like, I'm too much, I'm not enough, love must be earned, I must prove my worth. These are not facts, they are inherited shadows. Scripts written in moments of pain and misunderstanding. And the question arises, if I didn't choose this story, is it truly mine to live? This is the beginning of real freedom, the gentle unraveling of these old narratives. Not with force or bitterness, but with compassion. We begin to listen to ourselves differently. We notice when the voice of self-doubt speaks. We ask it, who taught you that? Jung spoke of the unconscious as a reservoir, filled with forgotten memories and hidden beliefs. To change our lives, we must first descend into that reservoir and rewrite the myth we've been living. Because here's the truth, you are not the story of your past. You are the storyteller now. Through mindfulness, reflection, and loving inquiry, you begin to reclaim authorship. Not to erase what happened, but to reinterpret it. To find strength in scars, wisdom in wounds, and a new voice that says, I am not broken. I am becoming. Every day, we are given the pen again. What will you write next? In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes a radical act. We are surrounded by a constant hum, headlines, opinions, notifications, commentary. Every moment asks for our attention, our reaction, our participation. But what happens when we say, no more? What happens when we sit, quietly, and listen, not to the world, but to ourselves? There is a sacred rebellion in stillness. Not the silence of avoidance, but the silence of presence. The kind that doesn't numb, but awakens. The kind that clears the fog so that something deeper can emerge. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious does not shout, it whispers. It speaks in dreams, in symbols, in sudden knowing. But to hear it, we must be still. Stillness is not empty. It is full of what we've been running from, and what we've been longing for. When we retreat into silence, we begin to notice the subtle inner currents, the thoughts we never questioned, the feelings we always pushed away, the deeper truths that have been patiently waiting. This is not easy work. The ego thrives in noise, but the soul speaks in quietude. Spiritual stillness is not about escaping the world. It's about remembering who we are beneath it all. It's a return to the self, to the sacred, to the source. So pause. Close your eyes. Breathe. There, in that space between sound and thought, that is where your power begins again. There is a quiet misunderstanding woven through modern life. The idea that we must constantly improve, refine, upgrade ourselves to be good enough. But spiritual growth is not self-improvement. It is self-remembrance. Carl Jung called this journey individuation, the process of becoming whole, not perfect. We are not here to become flawless versions of ourselves. We are here to become complete. And wholeness requires the courage to turn toward the parts we've abandoned, the wounded child, the angry voice, the unloved shadow. Individuation is not about conquering darkness, but embracing it. It is about meeting every part of yourself, even the ones you've kept hidden, and saying, I see you. You belong. Perfection says, hide your flaws. Wholeness says, hold your contradictions with love. Think of it like this. To truly see, we must accept that darkness is part of the light. A camera can't capture depth without shadow. Likewise, our soul cannot grow without embracing its complexity. This journey isn't linear. There is no checklist. It's a spiral inward, into the unknown terrain of the self. Sometimes it's disorienting. Sometimes it's painful. But every step inward is also a step home. Individuation is not about rising above being human. It's about diving deeper into it, with awareness, with reverence, with honesty. And when we stop chasing the illusion of perfection, something remarkable happens. We begin to feel whole, just as we are. Not because we have arrived, but because we are finally present. The soul doesn't want you to be perfect. It wants you to be real. There is a part of you you've been taught to hide. A voice that doesn't match the persona, the image, the version of you the world applauds. This is the shadow, not evil, not wrong, simply the unloved. Carl Jung described the shadow as everything within us that we deny, repress, or disown. It is the anger we weren't allowed to feel, the jealousy we weren't supposed to admit, the grief we never gave a voice. And yet, these buried fragments do not disappear. They wait in silence, shaping our decisions, leaking through our actions, echoing in our relationships. Until you make the unconscious conscious, Jung wrote, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. To embrace the shadow is not to indulge it, but to see it clearly, without flinching, without shame. Can you hold a mirror to your fears, your wounds, your impulses, and say, you too are part of me? This is spiritual maturity, not purity, but presence. It is the courage to sit with your discomfort and hear what it has to teach you. In truth, the shadow often guards our greatest treasures. Behind anger may be a boundary unspoken. Beneath envy, a dream unclaimed. Within sadness, a story that longs to be honored. To love the shadow is not to lose yourself, but to reclaim yourself, piece by piece. Shadow work is sacred work. It's the alchemy of turning fear into insight, rejection into reunion. And in this wholeness, something shifts. You stop running from yourself. And nothing outside you can hold power over a soul that is no longer divided. Freedom is a beautiful word. We whisper it like a promise. We chase it like a dream. But real freedom isn't easy. It's not the absence of limits. It's not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. That's indulgence, not liberation. True freedom begins the moment you stop blaming others and start taking responsibility for your inner world. This is the paradox. We say we want to be free, but often cling to our chains. We hold on to old wounds, grudges, stories where someone else is the villain, because it's easier than facing the mirror. But as long as someone else is responsible for your happiness, your peace, your self-worth, you are not free. Freedom asks more of you. It says, own your reactions. Notice your patterns. Respond, don't just react. And in doing so, you step into sacred responsibility, not for the world, but for the world within you. There is a deep silence in that kind of freedom, a quiet knowing that you are no longer tossed by the winds of opinion, past, or pain. It doesn't mean you won't feel anger or sorrow. It means you won't be ruled by them. Freedom, in the deepest sense, is not rebellion, it's return. A return to your center. A return to your power. A return to your presence. And in that space, no one and nothing can control you again. There is a story older than memory, one that lives in every culture, every myth, every soul. The hero's journey, a call to leave the known, face the unknown, and return transformed. But this journey isn't just for warriors or wanderers. It is your journey, my journey, an inward odyssey. It begins in the ordinary, in the repetition of days, the numbness of habit. Then something stirs. A whisper, a restlessness, a quiet call to more. At first, we resist. Change is uncomfortable. The unknown is terrifying. But the soul cannot unhear its own calling. So we descend into the forest of the unconscious, into the tangled roots of our own fears. We meet dragons not outside us, but within. Fear, shame, grief, doubt. And yet, these are not enemies. They are thresholds. We stumble. We break. We shed. And slowly, something awakens. A clarity. A strength. A knowing. Joseph Campbell called this the transformation, the rebirth. And when we return, it is not to escape life, but to live it differently. We carry gifts now, compassion, wisdom, resilience, forged in the fire of our own becoming. The journey of the inner hero is not loud. It does not always look like success. It looks like someone who knows who they are, who walks through life not seeking control, but embodying presence. Because in the end, it's not pain that traps us, it's unconsciousness. And it's not control that frees us, it's awakening. In a world pulled in every direction, by screens, schedules, expectations, it's easy to lose our center. Many seek control because they feel ungrounded, drifting. When we lack a connection to something deeper, we grasp at what's visible: validation, achievement, approval. But these are leaves in the wind. They cannot hold us when life trembles. What does it mean to be anchored? It doesn't mean you are unmoving. It means you are rooted in something real, something timeless. Call it soul, spirit, source, or simply silence. This is not about religion. It's about presence. It's about cultivating stillness not as escape, but as nourishment. You can find it in prayer, in a quiet walk among trees, in tending to another with love, in the breath that returns you to now. When you are spiritually anchored, you stop asking the world to give you meaning. You begin to live from meaning. Boundaries become sacred, not walls, but containers for your truth. You no longer chase validation. You no longer fear being alone, because you have met yourself. Freedom is not floating without direction. It's choosing the shore you belong to, the one inside your own being. And when the world outside rages, you return to your center, and remember, nothing outside can shake what is rooted in soul. This isn't just a reflection, It's an invitation. You are not here by accident. Somewhere inside you, something is awakening, the part of you that knows you were never meant to live on autopilot. You were meant to live awake, whole, free. So begin small. Watch your reactions today. Are they habits, or are they conscious choices? Notice where you feel pulled, where you feel drained, and ask yourself, what am I giving my power to? Because no one can truly control you unless you hand them the key. The journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you are beneath the masks, the stories, the noise. You are not here to please the world. You are here to become real. And the moment you choose to meet yourself with honesty and compassion, that's the moment no one and nothing can ever control you again. See you next time. Stay shining.